recent news about UCLA and USC potentially leaving the Pac-12 to join the Big Ten, it really makes you wonder, what if the Big Ten and the SEC became super conferences? Seeing as how the two conferences love to add more schools to the lineup, today I thought it would be cool to describe a scenario where the Big 12, Pac-12, and ACC were completely out of the picture, and only the Big Ten and SEC remained. I'm also going to talk about where I think the remaining Power 5 schools will go if the Big 12, ACC, and Pac-12 all folded. Without further delay, let's begin. So let's take a look at the current Big Ten lineup. Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Maryland, Michigan, Michigan State, Minnesota, Nebraska, Northwestern, Ohio State, Penn State, Purdue, Rutgers, and Wisconsin. And now for the SEC. Texas and Oklahoma are included just because they're joining the conference in the future. Anyways, here's the lineup. Alabama, Arkansas, Auburn, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, LSU, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Missouri, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Texas A&M, and Vanderbilt. First things first, UCLA and USC will be moved to the Big Ten just because of the recent news. And while we're at it, I'm going to move Arizona and Arizona State into the SEC. Also joining the SEC will be Colorado and Utah. And joining the Big Ten lineup will be Cal, Stanford, Oregon, Oregon State, Washington, and Washington State. And that's all the Pac-12 teams covered. Coming into the Big Ten from the Big 12 will be West Virginia, Kansas, Kansas State, Iowa State, and one of the 4 new schools, Cincinnati. And the rest of the Big 12 teams will go into the SEC, so that's Oklahoma State, Baylor, TCU, Texas Tech, and the other new schools, Houston, BYU, and UCF. Next up, we will be moving Notre Dame into the Big Ten, and yes, I know Notre Dame is under contract with the ACC, but in this scenario, the ACC doesn't exist anymore, so into the Big Ten you go. Also from the ACC, we have Pitt, Syracuse, Virginia, Virginia Tech, and Boston College. And the remaining ACC teams will go to the SEC, so that's Clemson, North Carolina, NC State, Duke, Wake Forest, Georgia Tech, Miami, Florida State, and Louisville. As you can see, the Big Ten now has 33 teams in all, and the SEC has 35. So to spice things up a little bit, I'm going to be taking Missouri from the SEC and I'm going to move them to the Big Ten. Now both conferences have 34 teams in total. So here's a look at the new Big Ten conference and the new SEC conference. Do you think 2 power conferences would work, or would it fail like the proposed Super League did? And if it did actually come to fruition, what changes would you make to the conferences? Please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and take care, memesters.